I know you speaking in tongues, but you better celebrate who stepped in and caused your mess ups and your hang ups to bring somebody out of darkness. The past is what it is. You need to learn how to put your past where it belongs. Where does it belong? In the past. What does the past mean? The past simply means, hold on, let me find it. The past is, the definition of the word past is having existed or occurred in an earlier time. Another definition says history. Over. The end. Somebody didn't get it. For all demons and devils that's been reminding you of your past and trying to hinder you from your future, you need to tell him that it's over. The end. Forget people who still living in 1992. Hook up with some people who's living in 2011. You don't need people who's living in the past, and you don't need people who's living in the present, but you need people who's always living in the future. Who's living in the future? This is a new day. This is a new hour. Oh well, that was then. This is now. I'm not the same. Didn't somebody tell you that God touched me one day? Have you ever came across some friends that you ain't seen in a long time when you was all screwed up, didn't weigh but 98 pounds, skin was 3 times darker, hair was all nappy, messed up, tore up from the floor up, and they remember you from then. But when you show up, dressed up in your best, giving God the glory, speaking in tongues, they wonder, girl, what has come over you? I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Girl, God saved me when I couldn't save myself. Let me tell you something. You know what's going to keep us? The basics. We always running for something new. Another tongue, another something, another something. You know what's going to keep you and your the basics. Prayer, fasting, and the word of God. Ain't nothing changed. That's the only thing that's going to keep you. You ain't got to do nothing extra, because when you pray and you fast and you get in your word, everything else going to line right up. The reason why we ain't lined up because we done forgot the basics. That's why your past keep haunting you. You forgot the basics. Not only did you forget them, you're not demonstrating them. You're not doing it. You're not applying it. Stop blaming people. Blame yourself. People only going to do what you allow them to do. And as long as you hang on to the basics, ain't nothing they can do or say. Why? Because you're rooted and you're grounded in the word and prayer and fasting. You get so caught up in something new. Yeah, he going to do a new thing. Where? How does he do a new thing and you do a new huckleberry? No. The basics. Prayer, fasting, and the word. And when somebody say a new thing, we try to run to another church. Or we try to run here and run there. No, the new thing is in you. When people say a new thing, that means that you get your butt in that word and get a new thing out of revelation. The basics. Prayer, reading, and you can tell a person who's in the basics. How do you tell a person who lives by the basics, who's doing the basics? Thank you. Who's doing and living and doing the basics? You see that person go through hell. But there's still a consistency. You see people lie on them and talk about them, but they still come sit on the front row. And they don't just sit, but they give God glory. Why? Because they didn't find strength in stuff, but they found strength in the basics. Knowing that the God that you serve is going to show up on your behalf. When your enemy comes in like a flood, if you stick to the basics, God will lift up a standard against. Don't let people talk you out of praying. Don't let people talk you out of reading your word. Don't let people talk you out of fasting, because that is your lifeline to your future. That is your lifeline to your miracle. That is your lifeline to your breakthrough. That is your lifeline. Your friends ain't your lifeline. Money ain't your lifeline. Sex ain't your lifeline. Gossip ain't your lifeline. Promotion ain't your lifeline. But the word of God is your lifeline. People coming in here sometimes with nothing, just going through hell, but you'll never know it. You'll never know it in church. You'll never know it on their job. And you'll never know it in their house, because they've been standing on the basics. When you stand on the basics, your past will stay where it belongs. When you stay on the basics, you'll see your ministry elevate. You know, another way that you see people who's not living by the basics, because they ain't moving up. When you say ain't no way you can live by the basics and pray and read and fast and promotion don't come. I know I ain't gonna get too many shouts. Promotion comes through obedience. Obedience of the word. Well, how do I get the obedience of the word? By picking it up and reading it, not waiting until Sunday morning so somebody else can feed you, when you ought to be grown enough to feed ourselves. Playing in this foolishness. It's gotta go. People dying and going to hell, and we acting foolish. Stuck in the past. Stuck in our present. But get back to the basics. And make God number one. And then we don't have to make all them phone calls to our families and to our friends, because you got that lifeline yourself. Come on. And we wonder why people know our business. Look how many people you don't call. You know, after a while you get fed up. Am I right? Especially when you're dealing with grown folk. When you look at the Israelites, when they came to the promised land. What gets me is the same people who came out of Egypt and went through the wilderness, saw all those miracles. You had half of them, come on, somebody say it, some of y'all say it. I'm going to show y'all how the church is, okay? We're going to move on. I don't know why I'm getting into all this, but I'm just going to be led by the Spirit. Give me another group of people over here. Here you had the children of Israel right there at the promise. I mean, right up above their head. I mean, right there. And you had a whole group of them that had walked in the wilderness and saw the miracles of God, saw the hand of God, saw God bring them out of so much stuff, so much. And then you had Caleb and Joshua who had a good spirit on them, you know, coaching them on. And that's what we have. We have good leaders coaching us on and telling us, hey, you can make it. You can do this thing. But the same group of people who were in the wilderness, half of them said, we ain't going. They brought us out here to die. Didn't y'all hear the same word they heard? Won't y'all sitting in the same sanctuary? The same sanctuary, and it went completely over your head. You got people sitting in here today that's going to take this word and say, we moving. But then we got another group that's going to say, oh, well, she got anything else? Is that all she got? I'm fine right where I am. Well, let me tell you something. God ain't moving for that people in this season. Because you know what? He's sick and tired of babysitting, and so am I. I don't mind people that want to go. No, you stuck and won't come out. Come on. No, you need a new touch and you won't do nothing to get it. Come on. I know y'all don't like me. It's okay. You better love me because I want to see you prosper. Same people sitting in the church, but you got different results. Now watch these people go up. But watch them murmurs and complainers. See them go up. Somebody better shout, because somebody's about to see you go up higher than you've ever been in your life, because you chose to eat the word, believe the word, pray and fast. The basics. There's a choice in everything. Thank you. There's a choice in everything. There's a choice. And you know what? God has sent this word today because he's promoting people. Not man, God. And you got to understand that when the promotion and the blessing that God's about to dump on you comes, you got to not feel that you're not qualified. But it's because it's going to cripple you. I'm telling you, that's some bridges I had to cross over so many times because of my past. But when I realized in my